What's the interest of my kids? What's the interest of my grandkids? You know, why can we not get more of that?
I think we're learning now, quite recently, that from a very myopic and insular and parochial society, that we're beginning to learn to look out to the world around us.
Young people from the age of 16, well, 10 years ago they were only 6.
Why are they sectarian now?
So why are they sectarian? It has to be coming from their home.
Yes.
It has to be made unfashionable to be sectarian. It has to be made that it's the wrong way to be.
We have to move forward to the younger generation now. I know the younger generation now at the minute can out-talk us. They out-talk us. They have a new style of talking now on the computers and everything else. They have a whole new style. And to go back and start rambling back about history and that, we should go out now and tell them why we met here.
Here's a group of people here who've looked at shared history. They've come from various backgrounds. They've worn a t-shirt, so to speak. They're in a position to make a difference. You can't ignore them.
Do you feel less British? Do you feel less Irish? Do you think, have you surrendered anything? Have you given up? Are your people pushed back? This is not. And what's wrong with that?
There's certain things we all have common together, like housing, wages, such and such, and that's what they're going to have to actually get together on.
What does the Battle of the Boyne mean to you? What does it mean to your community? And what's your perception of what it means to the other community? So whenever we've had the last discussions, we covered the Flight of the Earls, Siege of Derry, we had a visit to Rathmullen, we did the Walls of Derry, Columns Cathedral, and we covered the Plantation of Ireland and Civil Rights Association. So these bits flow on from that there. And a lot of that there is all at the end of the day you get down to, it's all about being rights-based. So really that's what's your perception and how do you feel having looked at the Battle of the Boyne? Because the fact there's nothing new that you heard about it or that?
I personally find that sort of going back to basics and seeing what we're seeing today, it helps you realise just how much things become contorted over the years. You know, the way sort of in recent years things get very twisted and modern troubles sort of play a part in how people see the Battle of the Boyne, and it's nice to go back to basics and look at it from a different perspective and view it freshly, so to speak.
Okay. I think probably what people didn't understand too, that there was such a diversity in both sides that actually fought in the Battle of the Boyne. You know, there was actually Catholics and Protestants fought on both sides of the divide there, like, you know, which people don't really understand either, you know, and I think it also needs to be taught as well.
Like most memories of the films, they're all romanticised, they're all idealised, and I think that's one of the things we've learned in all this, just how much, you know, how much of all the history we've been taught is actually false.
Freedom away from British rule and British involvement, and that's one of the reasons why the British government are prepared to do it there, because they'd say, well, if we concede there, then we will have to concede in other places as well. So they held on to India for over 30 years after that, yeah.
we do have a unique opportunity, a window, and it will only be there for a certain amount of time. That's the human condition. None of us are going to live forever.
Truth is a key issue here. You know, people gloss over and they glorify themselves, but they're not prepared to accept reality. What has happened has happened. Politicians marched our community up the hill and down the hill, and then left them, abandoned them, and deserted them, and then denied. So I think, you know, if people are genuinely serious, you know, let's get real. Let's tell the truth as it is. There's people out there who will attempt their damnedest to rewrite history. You can't rewrite what has happened.
When I see these kids together, man, you know, you don't see where did the conflict come from. Because these kids don't see it. You know, they don't.
You get kids in the market who will stone cars for no reason whatsoever, just start stoning cars.
But that's vandalism.
Yeah, and a friend that thinks he recreational violence, that's also vandalism.
Nigel doesn't agree with the word recreational violence.
No, because it doesn't exist.
You know, but I think it exists at that age group.
Well, therefore,
but above that, then it's sectarian, because they know better, they know what's going on. These kids pick this up, and they ask the critical question, who are these people? Which way do we relate that? Which way do we tell them who they are? Who are they? You know, which way do we explain what about the 35 years of conflict? Which way do we explain what happened? Grandad, why were you in prison? Why were you in jail? Or why were you interned? Or why were you remanded in custody on this? Because they are going to hear it.
Yeah, absolutely.
What does that person, that ex-prisoner, or that family member, or that granddad, or that father turn around and say to that kid? For what reason was I in jail? What does he say?